Hello students, today we are going to discuss the very basic concept of international economics, that is the absolute advantage. Some of you may know about the absolute advantage before, but let me discuss it in details in this class. So to do that, I am going to share my screen. Now, the absolute advantage. Absolute advantage means what? First of all, it is introduced by the father of economics, that is Adam Smith. What is absolute advantage? According to Adam Smith, a country has absolute advantage in producing a commodity for which the country is more productive. That means somehow the country can produce more of a particular commodity. That implies that country has absolute advantage over that commodity. So similarly, we can say a country has absolute disadvantage over a commodity where for which commodity he is producing relatively less. That means he is less productive for that commodity. Okay. So this is the concept of absolute advantage. Now I am going to an example. Look, this is the example of two countries, say country A and country B, who are producing two commodities, commodity X and commodity Y. Okay, there is one worker. This is the assumption. There is a worker who can produce both commodity X and commodity Y, and he is working 8 hours per day. Now, if you go to country A, that worker, if the worker is working 8 hours per day, then at the end of the day, the worker can produce 8 units of commodity X or 2 units of commodity Y. So either 8 unit of commodity X or 2 units of commodity Y for country A. If that worker is working in country B, then that worker is, say the worker is again working for 8 hours per day, and at the end of the day he can produce 3 units of commodity X or 6 units of commodity Y. So this is the picture of two country framework. Okay. Now if it is, so you can understand, look, in that picture, in that table, you can understand as if for country A, the worker can produce more of commodity X than commodity Y. So the worker is more productive for commodity X. So we can say country A has absolute advantage over commodity X. Now we are going to come country B. As the worker is producing more of commodity Y than commodity X for a certain time, so we can say that country B has absolute advantage over commodity Y. So this is how absolute advantage is defined by Adam Smith. Consider another example. This is the example of England and Brazil. They are producing cloth and wine. Look here, the same thing. If the worker is working for a day or a particular time, he can produce either 6 units of clothing or 110 units of wine in England, and in Brazil it becomes 120 units of clothing or 70 units of wine. So we can understand in the country England, the worker can produce more of wine, so England has absolute advantage over wine. On the other hand, in case of Brazil, as the worker is producing more of clothing than wine, so Brazil has absolute advantage over clothing. This is another example, country A and country B. These are the cars and bikes. These are the two commodities produced by the countries. Again, the same thing, if the worker is working in country A, he can produce either 10 units of car or 5 units of bike. As he is producing more of the cars, we can say country A has absolute advantage over car. In case of country B, look, he is producing more bikes than car, so country B has absolute advantage over bikes. So in this way, you can explain with several tables, you can explain the concept of absolute advantage. So in a nutshell, we can say the country has to produce more of a commodity. That means the country is more productive or more efficient to produce a particular commodity, then only the country has absolute advantage over that commodity. So this is what all about the absolute advantage. There are so many problems with the absolute advantage. So we will discuss all those things in our next class. Thank you.